from Donald J. Trump's Truth Social. The traitors that told the military to disobey my orders should be in jail right now, not roaming the fake news networks trying to explain that what they said was okay. It wasn't and never will be. It was sedition at the highest level, and sedition is a major crime. There could be no other interpretation of what they said. And one more, many great legal scholars agree that the Democrat traitors that told the military to disobey my orders as president have committed a crime of serious proportion. And this comes from Eric Daugherty. Holy crap, Rep. Byron Donalds goes nuclear on the fake news after Democrats called for sedition against President Trump. Quote, I'm not going to give them any standing about how do they feel. That's BS. They knew what they were doing, so on and so forth. Of course, there's a back and forth, a bunch of quotes. There's no need for that because we got the video right here. So let's just hear what he has to say.
So now they're going to feign outrage because Donald Trump responded to their words that do yield to insurrection? Please.
But the president has been...
Stop. No. And this is where I'm going to push back. Because what they are doing is trying to throw literally a grenade into the room. It goes off. And then they're going to claim outrage? They have no moral standing to claim outrage.
Yeah, but they got the mainstream media on their side.
Be cute and put out a TikTok video.
Not that anybody really watches it anymore.
Trying to demonstrate that they're tough enough to stand up to President Trump when Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief. Not Mr. Crow, not Senator Slotkin. They are not the commander-in-chief. And like I said before, they would not tolerate any Republican launching any video like that when Barack Obama was president of the United States. You know it's true. I know it's true. Everybody knows it's true. But now they want to feign outrage
damn straight.
and have everybody come and ask them how they feel. Man, stop. We're
all about feelings over at the Democrats. Feelings.
Real answers on energy, on immigration, on affordability.
Logic, common sense.
So yeah, I'm not going to give them any standing about, well, how do they feel? That's BS. They knew what they were doing. They created a political stunt to get a response. And they didn't like the response.
In terms of what the president said, are you comfortable?
Yeah. Look, I think when it comes to Florida, we've been clear in our state. We do not want drilling off of our coastline. And so we're going to work with the administration to still protect Florida's coastline.
Drill, baby, drill. But not in Florida.
Sure.
Are you comfortable with what the president said, suggesting that members of Congress should be put to death?
No, but the president also said that they should have to actually stand by. You have to investigate those words.
That's kind of a loaded question. Trump didn't literally say put them to death. He simply said that during the time of George Washington, they would have been put to death.
What they're calling for is sedition. Sedition. Let me ask you a question. What are the penalties of sedition in the United States of America? What are they? The president's not calling for it, but they're the ones that started this foolishness. And I will grant you, this is a foolish political stunt.
Yeah, and if the mainstream media wants to push back, then how about the mainstream media asks the question, what has Trump given to the military that is unlawful? Give us one single order that he's given the military that is considered unlawful. And they can't do it. Not even the 6 Democrats who told the military, if you're given an unlawful order, you shouldn't follow it, or you are required by law to not follow the unlawful order if you're given one. They can't even name a single unlawful order that Trump gave.
Created by people who are trying to get their name ID up, who are trying to demonstrate that somehow they're the standard bearers for our constitutional republic when their own words are in violation of our constitutional republic. You cannot have elected members. I don't care about your politics. This is not even a political deal anymore. You cannot have elected members tell our military men and women, tell the members of our intelligence community that you don't have to follow orders from the commander-in-chief. That is nuts. And as people who actually put the uniform on and serve this nation, they should know better. But they're playing politics. That's what's wrong.
Can I ask you about the controversy with 2 of your colleagues from Florida, Corey Mills and Sheila Sherfullis McCormick?
Right.
Where are you?
Oh, McCormick.
What do you think about both?
As I stand right now, the allegations are terrible.
Yep.
They're gonna
She's
be
been indicted for stealing $5 million.
And we'll see what the results of the ethics committee are going to come back with. These are things that should be investigated. And so we'll see where that lands, but the allegations are not good.
Oh, no. She's facing over 50 years.
If the ethics, based upon the current standard where Mr. Santos was expelled, when the ethics committee came back with their report and finding and the members made a decision, then yeah. All right, thanks.
Well, all right. Looks like that'll do it for Byron Donalds. Represents Naples, Florida. And from the Daily Caller, ABC, do you believe that President Trump has issued any illegal orders? And Slotkin says, to my knowledge, I'm not aware of anything that he said that are illegal. It's just a quick 10 seconds.
So let's talk right now. Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal, but...
Well, then why would you even fucking say it in the first fucking place? And for Trump and for all of the politicians that are giving this any attention, I mean, it's ridiculous from the outset. They shouldn't have even paid any attention to this stupid video. It wasn't even getting much traction anyway, not until everybody started picking it up. And by everybody, I'm talking about over on the Republican side. And this is from J.D. Vance. The president hasn't issued illegal orders. Them members of Congress telling the military to defy the president is by definition illegal. RNC Research, Alyssa Slotkin admits Democrats lied about President Trump issuing illegal orders to the military. Do you believe? Okay, so we already saw that. It's like an extra six seconds, but I mean, we already got the gist of that. House Republicans watch Face the Nation's Margaret Brennan, quote, 15 House Republicans who were also veterans who released a video including a retired 3-star Marine Corps General, Jack Bergman. And Congressman Crow, how do you respond to these allegations from your colleagues, fellow veterans, that what you have put out there is weakening and corrosive to the military? That's a good question.
Our point.
Well, let's get to the content of what you had in that video you released, because there are also 15 House Republicans who are also veterans who released a video, including a retired 3-star Marine Corps General, Jack Bergman. Take a listen to this.
Troops, listen up. Any service member who refuses a lawful order is subject to court-martial for violating the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
We study what's lawful and what's not lawful, and the Democrats stunt insinuating that they're illegal or unconstitutional orders.
It's exactly what they're doing.
It is corrosive. It is meant to weaken our country and weaken the military.
It is.
How do you respond to these allegations from your colleagues, fellow veterans, that what you have put out there is weakening and corrosive to the military?
Well, these unfortunately are some of Trump's core supporters that are rallying behind the president.
Yeah, well, of course he's not going to answer that, but that's exactly what it's doing. It's weakening. That's their intention. Their intention is to weaken the military because he can't, Congressman Crow or any of the other 5 Democrats, they cannot give one single instance of Trump giving an unlawful order. They can't. So what is the purpose of the video to begin with? If there were never any unlawful orders given by President Trump at any time, even during his first term or second term, if they can't come up with a single one, then why make the video in the first place? Just because they want to sow the seeds of distrust and try to rattle up the military and shake it down and cause, I don't know, just trying to start shit where shit don't need started. Rapid Response 47, the press secretary, not a single order this president or administration has given to our military has ever been illegal, nor will it ever be. They are trying to sow chaos and distrust, which is a very dangerous thing to do within the military's ranks.
What's the White House take on how this whole thing has evolved, and now this news that Mark Kelly could undergo investigation?
Well, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Unfortunate that
from the
these
Department
Democrat
of War.
senators made this egregious and completely irresponsible statement. And let's be very clear, Martha, these Democrat senators knew exactly what they were doing. It's not a coincidence that all of them have military or national security experience in their background. They were leaning into that experience to try and give a wink and a nod to the 1.3 million active duty service members who serve in our United States Armed Forces.
Yeah, they want them questioning every single order they get. That's exactly what they want.
Of their
that was the video's real intention.
Which is illegal, by the way. Let me be very clear. Not a single order this president or administration has given to our military has ever been illegal, nor will it ever be. This administration respects and abides by the law, and these officials know it. They are trying to sow chaos and distrust, which is a very dangerous thing to do within the military's ranks.
Stupid.
The sanctity of our military respects and relies on law and order and the chain of command. And that's what this administration is trying to say. And that's why the Department of War opened up this investigation against Senator Mark Kelly today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Investigation's
you have
coming.
to wonder at this point if they retrospectively think this was a good idea or a bad idea.
Oh, no, dude. They got everything they wanted out of that video, the Democrats.
Working the way that they wanted it to. And now they're kind of stepping all over themselves, trying to answer the question of what they were talking about in the first place. But, you make a good point that it sows, they were hoping to sort of sow this distrust, Go ahead, Karl.
They can't answer the question, Martha, because there is no answer. They can't identify illegal orders because there are no illegal orders. But they were suggesting, again, to the 1.3 million active duty service members in the military today that if you think an order is illegal, you don't have to follow it. Actually, that's against the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It explicitly states.
Yeah, it really is, because if you get an order from your superior and what, you just sit and think to yourself, well, I don't know if that's actually a legal order or not. So what they're suggesting that the military just takes every single order and just puts it through their own common sense filter, I guess, and just determine for themselves whether it's legal or not. Well, I don't think that might be illegal. Maybe it's probably not illegal, but even if it's like 1% possibly illegal, then I'm just not going to follow it. I mean, that's probably also their intention too by releasing that video.
And I want to read this language precisely, that service members have a legal obligation under the U.S. UCMJ to obey lawful orders, and that orders are presumed to be lawful. You can't have a soldier out on the battlefield or conducting a classified order questioning whether that order is lawful or whether they should follow through. There must be a chain of command in our military, and Republicans and Democrats for decades, since the beginning of our country, have always respected that until now when the Democrat Party has been completely overtaken by Trump derangement syndrome. And now we have these deranged statements from sitting members of Congress.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably should have just left it alone. But I mean, they obviously can't turn back now, because they did say in the video that if you receive an unlawful order, it is your duty to not follow it. They didn't specifically say that Trump has given you any unlawful orders, or they didn't say specifically that Trump was going to give any unlawful orders. They were just saying in general that if you receive any unlawful orders, it's your duty to not follow it. So where it goes from here, I don't know. We're just going to have to see. But this is from Pete Hegseth, who is the Secretary of War. The video made by the Seditious Six was despicable, reckless, and false. Encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Their foolish screed sows doubt and confusion, which only puts our warriors in danger. 5 out of the 6 individuals in that video do not fall under the Department of War jurisdiction. 1 is CIA, and 4 are former military, but not, quote, retired. So they are no longer subject to UCMJ. However, Mark Kelly, retired Navy commander, is still subject to UCMJ, and he knows that. As was announced, the department is reviewing his statements and actions, which were addressed directly to all troops while explicitly using his rank and service affiliation, lending the appearance of authority to his words. Kelly's conduct brings discredit upon the armed forces and will be addressed appropriately. And he is responding to the official statement by the Department of War, and it reads as follows. The Department of War has received serious allegations of misconduct against Captain Mark Kelly, USN retired, in accordance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice, 10 U.S.C. Section 688, and other applicable regulations. A thorough review of these allegations has been initiated to determine further actions, which may include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. This matter will be handled in compliance with military law, ensuring due process and impartiality. Further official comments will be limited to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. The Department of War reminds all individuals that military retirees remain subject to the UCMJ for applicable offenses, and federal laws such as 18 U.S.C. 2387 prohibit actions intended to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. Any violations will be addressed through appropriate legal channels. All service members are reminded that they have a legal obligation under the UCMJ to obey lawful orders, and that orders are presumed to be lawful. A service member's personal philosophy does not justify or excuse the disobedience of an otherwise lawful order. Holy shit. Sounds like he's probably going to be getting court-martialed. We'll just have to keep an eye out for that. Maybe it'll come sooner rather than later. I don't know. But according to Pete Hegseth, according to the White House press secretary, they are investigating.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.